Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2025 first meeting of the Community Spirit Awards Committee for the town of Gravenhurst. Nice to see everybody here. We haven't met for a while because, as you know, the Spirit Awards and Community Awards are given every other year. So we sort of wrapped up the 2023 awards program early in 2024 with an evaluation. Now we reconvene to plan the 2025 Community Awards program for the fall. And we'll look backwards as to all of the opportunities we have to say thank you to those great volunteers around Gravenhurst that have made the community a better place. So we'll be working on that today and in the future, and we'll announce future meetings as we make progress here. So my name's Gord Durnan. I've been operating, I guess, as chair of this august group. So nice to see everybody. And the first thing we're going to do is call the meeting to order. And that doesn't take a motion. Does it? No. Right, I just call it to order. Power, eh? Power of a chairman. Disclosure of pecuniary interests, anything that anybody would like to declare around the table? And any deputations from outside the group? I don't see and hear of anything so that we can just carry on. So first motion would be to adopt the agenda, that the agenda for the Gravenhurst Community Awards Committee meeting dated June 16th, 2025 be approved as circulated. Kind of a motion? Thank you, Barbara. And Heidi seconded. Any comment or all in favor? All in favor? Carried.
Do you want to?
Do we need to record that?
On the screen, are you good?
Yeah, can you do that all in favor again?
Well, all in favor, and what are we supposed to do?
Just put your hands up.
Just the hands, we don't have to press a button and names flash up saying everybody did it, eh? No? Okay, everybody put their hands up, everything's all in favor, 100%? Wonderful, thank you. We now have an agenda. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the February 29th, 2024 meeting that we had, sort of as a wrap-up and evaluation of the 2023 awards program, and some thoughts maybe we had at that meeting for the future. So recommendation that the minutes of the Gravenhurst Community Awards Committee dated February 29th, 2024 be adopted as circulated. Can I have a motion? Michelle and Kelly. Any questions, any comments? Barbara?
My apologies, I forgot to look at it again before today. Was I on the minutes as attending that meeting? Because I don't believe I was able to attend. I just wanted to clarify.
You were, but I don't have them in front of me.
Sorry. Thank you.
I remember that you were unable to make that meeting. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just make sure.
Just one moment, I'll double check.
All right.
Nope, you were a regret.
Okay. Thank you, Barbara. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Unfinished business.
So did we do all?
Yes, we did all in favor again? All right, everybody, 100%. There we go. We got it passed. All right. Unfinished business, digitization of the Lions Sports Hall of Fame, and that was a discussion we had at our last meeting. And Shauna Patterson was going to do some research and come up with some ideas and costs and projections and what this might mean. And she's been busy. So, Shauna, what have you learned, and what would you like to bring to our attention?
All right, so at our last meeting, I did bring up digitizing the Hall of Fame and putting something in the main lobby in the Centennial Center so more people can see everything that's upstairs and have it as a touch screen, so we can have it by a per person or per group basis. So you could touch a person, picture on the screen, and see their bio and what they were awarded, and maybe any of the memorabilia or sports equipment that they have up in our display could be on there as well. So I did reach out to some companies to get some quotes for what it could look like as a cost, and we are looking at about $7,500 to digitize the Hall of Fame. That's still us doing the work of taking the photos and uploading onto the platform, but it gives us, they would do a wall wrap for us, so we can have the Lions Club's logo, Hall of Fame, whatever we want as a background, with a 65-inch screen in front, and that would be a touch screen. And then it comes with software. So there is an annual cost for the software that could probably be worked into an operational budget rather than pulling money out on an annual basis. But we need to pay for the software to keep the program running annually. So the funds would come, I would think, would come from the reserve for the Hall of Fame. And if we want to have an open discussion on our thoughts on if we like this idea, we can do that. And then we have a motion prepared if this committee wishes to approve the digitization. That would give me the authorization to move forward with the project, and then approve a cap amount for funding to take from reserves. If it gets approved, I would have to go to the council table as well to request the money be removed from that reserve within the town. So both of those motions are available today if we get to that point that we want to move forward with this project. And I can answer any questions if there's any as well.
Thank you, Shauna. So are we going to see a visual of what you're talking about, what's been submitted by the various companies? How did you evaluate them? Are they the costs similar from the different companies and the opportunities similar, or are they different? And so which one are we going to? Are you recommending, or do we get to choose, or do we get to weigh in on this, or what's the process?
So I reached out to 3 companies. 2 did not do this type of software. I was only able to secure one that does Hall of Fame style digitization right now. So that's the quote we have. If this project goes forward, I have to follow the procurement process with the town. So I do have to try to attain 3 quotes. And then we would go with the lowest bid. So it would be apples to apples. They would all have a wall wrap. They would all have the same size screen. Like the quotes would have to be the similar of everything. And then we would end up going with the lowest bid. So that's how our procurement process works for anything over 5,000.
Is it the lowest bid or the best bid that's going to do the job for us?
So apples to apples again, like they would have to all quote the same. So if I can't get 3 quotes, I could do a sole source or a single source. But ideally you want to try to get those 3 quotes, that they all do a wall wrap, they all have the same touch screen software, all the operations have to be similar.
Shauna, is there any that we could look at? Is there any that up and running in different municipalities or close by that we could go, and if we happen to be through? Like I remember when they were building the Y, we went out and looked at different Ys and different configurations to get some sense of what it's like, or not. Or is there a website we could go and look at?
There is a website. I don't have a visual now because we do not have, we haven't given them what things would look like. So we have what is a display on their website. I could pull up a website. Maybe we could pull up a website. But I think that would come
Later. Okay.
Yeah.
I just think, I have an imagination in my mind what it might look like, but it could be totally different from what others are envisioning. And I think if we're, going to get behind this, we should eventually, when you get down to the final, show the group this is what it's going to be. And the Lions Club, whose money's being invested in it, should see something that make them really comfortable.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get onto a website easily or not.
I don't think we need to do it today, but
But we can show you what a generic view looks like, so you understand what I'm saying.
or you can send something out to all the committee members and saying this is where we're at, and here's a website you can check out. If you got any comments, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Pull it up now.
Yeah, we can try to pull it up. Okay, hold on. Yeah.
We were trying to see if we could pull up the website of one of the companies to give us a thing. So we're unable to actually get that at this point. So let's just carry on, and I think at some point we'd love to see what it's going to look like, so that everybody's confident, especially the Lions Club, that this is a good investment of $7,500 or whatever. You know, because it's going to be something that we're going to have for a long time. Unless technology changes by next Thursday, which it probably will, but something that, you know, has a good shelf life to it that's going to do a great job. But I just think the idea is fabulous, because so many people walk through that Centennial Center and have no idea there's a Hall of Fame upstairs, because they don't go up there, and if they do, they're going there for a different reason, so they're not looking. So something on the main level will be a great boon to our history as well as the future. So I think it's just a matter of bringing back something. We're not in a hurry. We don't need it next week. So let's do this right and make sure everybody's on side and understands the process.
Thank you. Through you, just used to saying that. Okay, question. So I love this idea. Would we have to get the approval through the Lions Committee, or is this would be through us, including with the Lions? Okay, just making sure how that works. The other question I have is, I love this, but what about the Community Spirit Awards? Is there any way we could incorporate it somehow? Just an idea, just a thought.
Oh, you're good. I think you're good. Yes, so we definitely can. So like one of the touchscreen tabs could be Community Spirit Awards winners, and we can have them up for the current ceremony, and have them added as like an add-on to the screen. So that wouldn't be a problem.
I'm just looking at the nomination procedure and the eligibility, excuse my stuttering. It isn't really clear that there's anything about sports, you know, what kind of sports. I mean, the eligibility is great, those kinds of things are important, but if it's a sports hall of fame, should it not have a definite sports category so people know, understand?
So there is.
I don't see it, I'm sorry.
So the top, we're gonna get to this eventually, but we might as well now.
Oh,
It's
I'm
not part of
sorry.
unfinished business, but
Yeah,
on the forms, when we get there, there's the Community Spirit Awards, and the second one is the Sports Hall of Fame. So the last page
oh,
that
on
you
the
have,
front,
it's
front
on the
page.
back.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at the second page.
yeah. So it's all there. So we're gonna review all of this anyways to
Okay.
make sure it aligns with what the committee wants.
I won't say anything else, just it. But I still think it should be up here as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kathy. All right, so let's carry on with that and look forward to seeing,
Well, I need direction,
so do we,
right?
you need direction. Well, I think,
Move forward with the project, so we need to finish
So-
this discussion, if everyone wants to.
are we comfortable? Do we need a formal motion? You have a formal motion?
So I need direction from the committee to be able to go forward and do the
And-
legwork to get 3 quotes, to get all of the things. So I need approval that the committee wants to do this, if you choose. And then the dollar amount that I'm supposed to be trying to attain in doing this project. So I think we have motions ready.
Do we have to have
But-
two, or can we do one?
We need to make sure everybody agrees to do this, and then we
so-
can get into the motion.
So, all right, so the motion reads as recommended.
One moment. Shauna, is this for the sport of the project and also the approval of the amount?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's gonna
We'll
be a little
just
bit
bang it
different.
out. We'll just do it because then I know.
How much was it for?
75. Is it 75?
So the quote I have is 72.76.
72.76 plus taxes.
Incidentals, whatever. I would say $8,000 would be more than enough.
Okay, so up to $8,000.
Yeah, you can read that. Or Shauna, is this what you intended?
That's the one that you sent me.
So she's suggesting up to 8,000. That's what she just,
8,000? Oh, okay, sure. Oops.
okay, up to. Perfect. So the motion, as on the screen here, that Kathy's going to,
It's gonna go.
that Kathy's going to move is that the Community Awards Committee approve the digitization of the Gravenhurst Lions Sports Hall of Fame project, and that the committee recommends council approve the funding of up to $8,000 from the Hall of Fame reserve for the digitization of the Lions Club Hall of Fame.
We're gonna try to get it on the screen.
So moved by Kathy Doust. Seconded. Oh. Can she do that? She can. Oh. There it goes. Oh, my goodness. All right, so everybody can see that. We have a motion by Kathy Doust, seconder. Kelly? Thank you, Kelly. Any further questions or comments? Nope. All in favor? Oh, we have a comment coming.
Just a quick question. Do we know, I don't even know if we're supposed to know, but do we know how much is in the Lions Club Hall of Fame budget?
So I asked, not long ago, actually, I think as part of this to see where we were at. And there's, I think, just over or around 22,000. I didn't get the exact number, but the majority of the funds that were donated are still available. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Great, thank you. All in favor? Oh, another question. Barbara?
So follow-up to that question, through you, Mr. Chair. If we're asking for $8,000 now just to get it started, then at a certain point, will we be running out of money at some point with the Hall of Fame, like 10 years from now?
Good question. We had the funds donated in 2017, Kath? So we've had them for about 8 years now, and we've only spent like 3,000 of what was donated. So doing the digitization, I don't see the need to build more boxes upstairs. Rather, we can rotate what's up there. So I don't foresee spending much more money going forward, other than maybe replacing or repairing anything that is broken. Which is in 10 years, will we still have money? Yeah, definitely, yeah.
All in favor, ladies and gentlemen? There we go. Thank you very much. Wonderful. And we look forward to further information as you have successes in sourcing these out. New business. Additional meetings for Community Awards Committee. So I guess one of my comments would be, have you given any thought, and in terms of yourselves, Nicole, you and Nicole, and from your schedules and from the Opera House schedule, as normally it's been end of October, early November-ish. Have you got any thoughts that you'd like to guide us on in terms of when we should be planning this for, so that we can then backdate and back-plan all of our marketing and communication?
Yes, so to answer your question, we are aiming for November again to have the ceremony. We don't have a date set down yet. We still need to work on that with Kelly at the Opera House, but we're aiming to do it in November. So that'll be date to be determined at our next meeting. So we should know by our next meeting what the day will be in November. The other purpose, we will talk about the event ceremony in a minute, but the other purpose for the additional meetings for the awards committee is to potentially have ad hoc meetings, not potentially, we will have ad hoc meetings when we need to move any business forward for the Lions Hall of Fame. So having the meetings only happening in the year of the ceremony is not paying enough attention to the Hall of Fame side of things. So if we need to update any boxes or change things up so it doesn't get stale, we need to have these meetings to discuss what's going to go in there, how are we getting it, has there been things donated. So it won't be like every month or anything, but as needed with business to move forward. So just to get an understanding at the table here, if everyone is okay with that. I know people are busy. I know you signed up to have your meetings with this committee originally only in the year of the ceremony. So is everybody okay adding a few more meetings a year? And then if so, we will vote on it, because we will have to have the terms of reference changed for this committee, because it does say that we only meet in the year. So we will add ad hoc as needed to move business forward, so that we are staying on top of the Hall of Fame and not letting it not continually be improved. So, yeah. So, do you want to deal with that first?
Yeah, any comments to that? I think that makes good sense, good stewardship, to make sure that we're on top of this and we give our guidance. Any idea of just a ballpark when you may have some more feedback in terms of when the decision would be made and when we might be proceeding to council, so that then, because
For the digitization?
yeah, just so that we get some idea, because that's going to drive the numbers of meetings and the timing of meetings.
Yeah, so from here, now that there's a direction to approve the funds, I need to get that approval at the council table and make sure they approve it and we go forward. I could probably bring that in August,
Okay.
to the August meeting of council. And then from there, once I have approval, Nicole and I can work towards getting the quotes and bringing something forward. And it could be part of our meetings coming up in the fall for approval of the company and so on to go forward. I would anticipate probably early 2026 to have everything up and running.
Okay. All right, so that's the goal related to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But we're also going to need some meetings in terms of settling a date for the Community Awards
Yep.
program. And I really think that we need to take a really hard look at how we market this to the community, to those people that might want to nominate, and to those that, you know, have been doing something. You know, we sort of sputtered last time because we were without, you know, newspapers and without all those kinds of things. Social media has moved a lot further. Town of Gravenhurst have got a fabulous social media presence now. You know, Mike Jennings, I think, does a fabulous job. So, you know, do we need to, you know, get his input as to how we can market this, who we can market it to, who's our target audiences, young, old? We've missed a lot of young people, I think, in this whole program over the years because, you know, so I really hope that maybe around the table we can think about that, but maybe Mike is a specialist in communication, that can we ask you to ask Mike to come up with a strategy and a planning and a timing based on a November date, so that, you know, we can get things out. You know, years ago, you know, we'd actually send letters. I remember signing letters to every organization in town, and some of them hand-delivered by members of the committee that knew them, to say, come on, you know, start to, you know, think about nominating people. So how are we going to do that this year so we be most effective? The other thing that, Shauna, I don't know if we, so we need a date, we need a plan to make sure that we get, you know, great nominations, worthy nominations, you know, in a timely basis, and set some deadlines that are sort of, you know, we can meet to do all of the other things that we need to do in terms of ordering plaques and all of those kinds of things. So there's some sort of a timetable we need to come up with. One of the things that I guess it wasn't at our last meeting, because we had this snow megathon thing, and we also had an ice storm, and we had talked, or I think I even sent a memo saying, you know, if the town wants to do anything to recognize people that were extremely fabulous, wonderful volunteers through that snow problem we had, and or the ice storm since then, you know, could we help? And I think the town has bounced some stuff around, but nobody's ever come back to us to say, in the awards program for 2025, we want you also to include the you know, a call for anybody that did anything spectacular and was a wonderful volunteer. And has that become a special category? And do we include the ice storm in that? I don't know. So we need some feedback from the town if they're expecting us to add that to our regular program, and have they given any thought to that?
May I?
I turn it to you, Shauna.
Thank you. So when you emailed about that, I think my response to you was we would include it in this year's ceremony as a special category. So it would be its own category, pending, again, if everybody feels that it should be added from this table, as an area for a nomination for the upcoming ceremony. And it could be both events, because both were significant in different ways.
Yeah.
The snowstorm definitely was more impactful as people were more isolated, where the ice storm was impactful in the ways where people didn't have power. So, I mean, either or can be added as a special category this year, specifically for the ceremony coming up.
So the town didn't go ahead and do anything on its own? Okay, because I remember the mayor suggesting that, we want to do something to, but, okay, so it's defaulted now to us. So we need to change the categories in our perspectives, and do you have any suggestions on exactly what that wording's gonna look like and stuff, and how do we handle that?
So that'll all be part of discussion today, but it will be its own category. So where we have Community Spirit Award categories, it'll be an additional to what we have currently
Okay, I'm sorry, but I just don't see anything on the agenda
for,
for this discussion.
yeah, I know. So we're gonna add new business to talk
Okay.
about
All right, okay.
to talk about it.
All right, so under new business, we're going to now shift our focus to the call for nominations and how it's going to look.
Yep.
Heidi?
I just wanted to make a comment with what we were talking about a minute ago, just as a sideline, and I don't know policy or procedures, so I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
I do think that with what happened this year with the snow and with the ice storm and whatever, I think it would be appropriate to also acknowledge council, the mayor and council, and all the work that they did in trying to help their communities in getting this, the aftermath of everything that's happened, because I personally believe that the mayor and council did a fabulous job. I know there's always things you can do better, but at the end of the day, they really came through, and the hours everybody put in, and I think at our awards ceremony, it would be nice if that was acknowledged.
Yeah.
I guess, I appreciate that. I think it's important that be included. I'm not sure we can give the council an award, but I think we could certainly, we can certainly make a statement. Maybe we can, there's some great videos that they had that maybe we can use on the screen there to show some of the things, but thank, not just the council, but the hundreds of thousands of hours that the staff put in. And, the emergency services people, and, so, maybe we carve out in our presentation, either we do some awards, then we do a video kind of thing with featuring the management and the dedication of everybody that made us come to next November, still with smiles on our faces because we're glad we live here.
Yeah, it could definitely be an intro to the special category for this
For that
ceremony.
category, yeah. So I think it could kind of be exciting, but yeah, we got to thank all of those folks that made that happen, not just the volunteers. Yeah. Barbara?
I love that idea, and I think we should also extend it to all of the, not only the emergency services folks, but also the people who came from all over Canada, Ontario, to come and help us. The different, it was phenomenal what happened. Thank you.
The whole sphere of what made this community so proud of how we all worked together on it. Because it really was an amazing example of the culture and the caring that this community has. So, yeah, let's do that upright. Yeah, thank you for everybody for supporting that. Shauna, where are we?
Well, next, I actually want to let everybody know Nicole Gray is back from maternity leave. So I was filling in while she was away, so she will be stepping back into the staff liaison position. Probably in a couple meetings. I'll still be here to sit on the sidelines with her, but she'll be taking the reins back over, so you'll be working with Nicole. And then to that, you are right, on the agenda, I did miss talking about the ceremony, so we will also do that. I have the previous nomination forms, I've passed them out, you can have my copy in a moment. And it also has the eligibility and criteria attached. So if everyone would like to review, this is,
Sorry, can we just circle back? I know you guys were all talking about adding additional meetings.
yeah,
If that's something that you want to do, you'd have to change the terms
Oh,
of reference. So if we want that, board would have to read a motion, and then you'd have to vote on it.
let's do that
Can we go
first.
back to that if that's something you guys want?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta love this electronic stuff. Before my mind comes into play here, it's already here in front of me on the screen. I love this stuff. So we needed to adjust the terms of reference for the committee, as Shauna had commented earlier. So we need a motion that says the Community Awards Committee requests council approve the following amendment to section 6.1 of the subcommittee's terms of reference. The Community Awards Committee shall meet on the second Monday of the month in the designated year, beginning in September and ending in November, with ad hoc meetings to be scheduled as required, which will allow us to meet and deal with some maybe extra kinds of meetings we might have because of the scope of this awards program this year, as well as keep on top of making sure that this Lions Sports Hall of Fame project comes online in a fabulous way and and is done properly so that we get the best benefit possible from the investment in telling the story of our history in sports in this community. Can I have a mover? Moved by Barbara, thank you. Seconded by Michelle. Any comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. Carried. Now let's go, before we go back to Shauna, Nicole, thank you. Welcome back to sort of this committee as our staff liaison. I look forward to working with you and all of us weird and wonderful people here. We have a lot of fun. We do great things. We smile a lot. We laugh a lot. And we try to make the community smile and laugh and recognize all those people in this community that do such great work. So it's a fun, great project to be involved with, and we look forward to your guidance. Okay?
Stuck with me for now.
Now we're stuck with Shauna for 3 minutes. Here we go. Shauna, off.
Can I?
All right. Sorry, we kind of went on a few different pathways there, so we missed something.
Just the second Monday in October is Thanksgiving, so we should probably change that up.
It's a good note. We don't have to do it right now, but we'll make a note to make sure we don't have a meeting on that day. So everyone has I'm going to give you mine, Mr. Dernan. The copy of the nomination form. Thank you. We have a very studious committee member here. So if there are any things you want to change, Nicole is going to be making some notes, or if you want to mark up your own forms and give them to us, we'll compile it and fix it and get it ready with a marketing plan for our next meeting so that we can get all of the information out to the community on a timely manner. So we are going to add the outstanding volunteerism during the state of emergency and the ice storm. So that will be a category added under the Community Spirit Awards. I envision it being kind of segregated from the Spirit Awards so that it's its own kind of thing to highlight during the ceremony. I do like the idea that was brought up earlier of doing like an intro, thank you video leading into the nominations. So I think that's kind of a cool idea. it adds to the thought I had, so that works great. And then the Hall of Fame categories, if there is anything to note or changed or that's different on there, I would look to the Lions Hall of Fame committee representatives. Or if they need to take it back and come back, that's also fine. Or take it back and just email us information. And then at the back of the bundle that I've given you, front and back, there's two different sections for eligibility for the A, Community Spirit Awards, and B, the Hall of Fame. If we want to add or change anything for the snowstorm event, or just keep the eligibility the same as the Spirit Awards, that's fine. If we want to change the wording or change how it is laid out, we can also do that. And you're looking at the 2023, so obviously the dates and everything are wrong, but we don't need to mark that up, we know.
No, we need to make sure that when we change things and
You wanna-
update them, when we change and update forms and put timing, the biggest problem we have in this world of technology is missing a date. So it's going to be 2025, so we need to, look very, very carefully that if there's any dates in here in terms of when things need to be accomplished and when things need to be submitted, that we don't embarrass ourselves by saying 2023 there. So we need to look at that date and then backdate it for when deadline for nominations must be, so that we can get the awards, created from our supplier, whichever we're going to do this year, and we'll maybe revisit that at our next meeting and all of those things. So I don't think a committee is a great vehicle to wordsmith this, but each individual, if you could take a really careful look at this and see if there's any suggested changes in the wording to be clearer, more inclusive. Are we missing a sector of the community that we shouldn't be missing? Because I'd rather include them than assume that they feel that they're involved, because we want to make sure this is a broad-based community recognition program and that everybody is welcome. So I really would maybe challenge everybody to take a look at that, send them to Shauna and myself, Nicole, and we have Nicole, we do have it on that email, I think, for her email. And then at our next meeting, we can, we'll have a date, we'll have, if Mr. Jennings is allowed to start to look at a marketing kind of thing and come back with recommendations of how many YouTubes or this or that and the other stuff that we do, and how do we roll it out. That would be very, very helpful. You can tell I'm a fan of his work, because I really think I'm pleased. Michelle, you've got a comment.
Just a comment. On the sports memorabilia, it says provide several display cases will showcase sports. So that will have to be changed if we're going to go with a digital. And are you going to keep so we're going to keep them and just change them out? Okay, so we'll be doing both then. So you just add then, if we're going to do this display board downstairs, then you'll add that into this category in there. Okay. Okay, just making sure.
Barbara?
Do we have any, I call them lessons learned, do we have anything that we learned from last time that we'd like to make sure we shore up this time? So was our timeline okay for how long we have had from the end to the actual day? Anything like that we sort of want to make sure we don't trip over again this time?
And I think we might need a little extra time, because if we may end up with something amazing happening you know, with the new category, and I guess one of my thoughts would be that maybe it would be a different kind of award, not a lantern kind of thing, but for those two things, it might be, you know, the grave, whatever, that relates to the snowflakes or the whatever. But it might be something different. If we get 85 nominations, and you know they're all fabulous, neat, wonderful people that reached out and held people's hands and made it work. We might want to do something different for them that says this is a one-time like kind of thing, and you guys are special. You're the Gravenhurst Snowflake of the Year, kind of whatever. So, but we'll need more time to get some of those things done, printed, created, whatever. So let's start thinking about that as well at our next meeting, and I think we need to have a next meeting before well, maybe we go to Shauna and say, when you get a date for the ceremony at the Opera House, then we can maybe do we need to meet, in August, or can we meet the first week of September? I got a wonderful thing when I looked at my calendar. The grandchildren go back to school on September the 2nd this year. But the following year, I also looked and said, oh my God, it's the 9th they go back. So I guess I'll have more time this year in September than I will the year after that. So, but maybe we can, maybe our charge is to call a meeting.
We're thinking, so there's a lot of thoughts, Mr. Durnan.
right.
You're giving me lots to process at one time.
Okay.
So first extra time, you were talking the ceremony, you think we'll need extra time than normal? Is that what that thought was?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you meant extra time in meetings or extra time
Both.
in this, okay.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. And we're thinking to meet again in August. Normally, we wouldn't have had our first meeting till September in a normal year for this event, so we're way ahead of the game this year. But we're thinking to meet again in August. We'll definitely have the date by then. I will have had the opportunity to go to council, so I'll have approval of the digitization, so we'll have a lot of meaty stuff to talk about. So that'll still give us ample time. That'll give us time to work with our communication specialist to get a marketing plan to present to you as well. So that'll give us enough time if we aim around maybe third week of August. It'll give us time to do the things we need to do to prepare for that meeting and get a good marketing plan in place, and then have us extra time also for planning around the ceremony. So.
I'm very comfortable with that. I really want this one to be really special, and I think everybody around the table here wants to really pay attention to that this year, because it could be put us on the map a little bit about how Gravenhurst loves the people that because this is the good news thing rather than oh, me is my, when you stand out there and look at 10 feet of snow and you can't do anything but laugh, because I don't know where to put it. So I think let's pay attention to it, and please select a date, circulate it. We'll do our best to be there, because I think this is really, really important this year. Okay, Nicole? All right. Anything else for the good of the committee and the organization? So on our agenda, we had next meeting September the 8th, but we're going to put that at hold that for now.
I'll keep that one
Hold
and add one.
for August date. And if we need August the 8th as well, we can do it. Okay.
September 8th.
Eh?
September 8th.
September the 8th? But-
And then August.
Yeah, so we'll add both. Okay, and we're gonna add an August one. All right, so we got September the 8th for our next meeting, but we'll also have an August date, so we can keep on top of all of those things that we have on our agenda. Any comments, questions, suggestions before we adjourn? Thank you. Hopefully, everybody, we did all get through all of those wonderful events. I happened to be down at the dump the other day, and I noticed. Oh, I guess we have to end the meeting, don't we? Let's say, okay. All right, we'll end the meeting. So, all in favor, do we need a motion to adjourn? Barbara? Kelly? All in favor of adjourning? Carried. Wonderful. Eh? And I can